あら、どうなんでしょうか。
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me.
ウィル・スミスにやられました。
Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke.
G.I. ジェーンのジョークだったんです。
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television.
テレビ史上最高の場面でしょうか。
So we are here to give a documentary out, to give an Oscar out.
Particularly for his wife. So she's got alopecia, so not a happy home life. Particularly for his wife. So she's got alopecia, so not a happy home life.
Did Biden make a blunder, or did he have no choice really but to do this?
I mean, there's obviously a fair share of you got your pillaging, you got all that, you got your murders. They're safe.
What's disgusting about it is that he BS'd for so many times that he said he wasn't going to pardon his son. And that's when he was going to run for president. So he lied. But that's typical of all politicians. All they are lying pieces of crap to get their way into office. So should he have done it? You know, Judge Andrew Napolitano, who was he was a Supreme Court judge in New Jersey. He knows the Bill of Rights and the Constitution better than anybody that I know. He just wrote an article about the Biden pardoning his son. And he goes on to say, it's not right. But he goes on to also say what the son did was not that terrible in terms that, let me get the proper language here, is that he harmed no one by his tardy tax payment with interest and penalties. And he harmed no one obtaining a gun permit and discarding the weapon. Thus, the three components of crime, legitimate authority, palpable harm, and articulable victim, are all absent in the Hunter Biden case. So that's the way the judge looks at it. But as I look at it, again, he lied and said he wasn't going to do it. But think about this. Then you got Trump. Trump gave this guy, Jared Kushner's father, when Trump was president, he pardoned him of his criminal activities. Oh, and now he just appointed him as America's ambassador to France. I'm just pointing it out. This is not a government. It's a crime syndicate.
Say this was a world where there was only one ruler and for a day you ruled it. I like it. I don't actually. I'd say no. If someone said, "Oh, you're the ruler of the world," on the 5th of June, I wouldn't sleep till the 5th of June. On the 4th of June, I'd get out of it. I'd go, I can't. I can't do it. I don't want the pressure.
But Biden didn't pardon him for those two particular crimes that he'd been convicted of. He pardoned him for any crime that he may have committed. And what date did he choose? January of 2014, 3 weeks before Hunter started work, in quotation marks, at Burisma in Kiev. That's the rat that we can smell, isn't it?
Well, of course, it's not only, it's also that other little clown boy that ran for president. And again, these are all daddy's boys, John Kerry. his stepson-in-law, Chris Hines of the Hines 57 family, he was also on Burisma Energy. And this is after the United States overthrew the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in 2014. Right away, these two clown boys that don't know anything about Burisma Energy or energy, they're on the board of directors, making tens of millions of dollars in front of everybody's eyes, but that's okay. So, yeah, I agree with you. What they're doing, it's a crime syndicate that people call a government. Again, this is your Trends Journal back in 2014. You see how happy that guy is? It's all about America's overthrow of the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych, and the article is written by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan, and he makes it clear right here. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. Ukraine presented the perfect opportunity for Washington to advance its hegemonic agenda, and goes on to talk about the overthrow. And then Biden brings his little boy in, a little drug addict, nothing little clown, shot up freak. But I know all about Burisma Energy.
You have the power to change the laws, but only one law you choose stays changed after 24 hours. What law would you want changed permanently? Well, it would be something around human or animal rights, definitely. It'd be good, wouldn't it, to you're not allowed to kill anything for a laugh. You're not allowed to kill an animal for a laugh. You're not allowed to just go trophy hunting. It's illegal. I mean, it should be in fox hunting, just ridiculous fucking blood sports. You're not allowed to cause an animal any fucking pain unless it's a really good reason, like self-defense. If you're asleep at night and a shark gets in your window and starts eating it, you're allowed to hurt it. There you go. Anything else? Don't fucking torture and murder animals for a laugh. That's gone, right?
This little clown boy of nothing. You've been sucking off the public tit for over 60 years. A little jerk. And again, I want to make this clear too. All these little warmongers, you talked about Trump, he killed Soleimani, tried to overthrow the government of Venezuela. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to be tough. These guys, they're all, I'm the same age as Trump. And Biden's, a couple of years older than me. We grew up during the Vietnam War. These little clown boys that talk real tough, they got 4 and 5 draft deferments, and they love war. So anyway, going back to what Trump is going to do, Trump is going to do anything he wants to do, when he wants to do it, and how he wants to do it, and nobody's going to stop him. So Biden could get away with murder. They all could get away with murder. Look at their track records. By their deeds you shall know them. Look at the murderers. What, you like Bill Clinton's murders? Look what he did to Iraq. Killed over 500,000 Iraqi children. Ruined Yugoslavia. How about the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, Barack Obama? When we got Afghan troop surge, I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. Get rid of Assad. All right, it's a crime syndicate. Talk about anyone you want. You were talking about Boris Johnson before. The best cartoonist in the world. Couldn't come up with a little freakier little clown boy than that. Take a look at that little Catzon Macron over there in France. Hey, how about Olaf Scholz? The people that get into government are the lowest pieces of slime that you could imagine. Not my language, a language of a real man that was in war, that hated war. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, 2-term president. Google it up. Any man seeking the office of president is either an egomaniac or crazy.
The answer seems to be, well, we're finding out. We are finding out.
That's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right.
You know, it's offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But you know, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing. You know, because I'm not doing it for the 200 egos in the room. I'm doing it for the 200 million people watching around who aren't winning awards, who aren't millionaires. And freedom of speech is so important these days. I've reached the age now where I don't care anymore. It's a sin. Not to joke about all the bad things, that's a waste. Because that's exactly what we should joke about. If you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof.
I said recently, before these riots happened, I said, you know, it would be, and I might have said this to you in private before, Jordan, but I say it would be madness if people from the Indian subcontinent made up 3% of your population, it would be madness to try to demoralize that population or to try to find ways to just say that they were nothing and never had been anything, and it was sort of best if they just tried to sidle through their lives without harming anyone. Why would you do that to 3% of the population? Among other things, it's rude, it's cruel, it's unusual, and that 3% of the population is a significant amount of the population. You don't want to demoralize 3% of the population. Okay. Why would you do that to a majority? Who is so insane that they want to do this to majority populations? And the answer seems to be, well, we're finding out. We are finding out.
All the time. Yeah, that's the hill I die on. Freedom of speech is fundamental. You can't have a free society without it. It's good for everyone. It's a good system. Attacks on comedy, yeah, ludicrous. A lot of it's faux outrage. It's people owning each other now, innit? Wielding power. That sort of virtual signalling it's meaningless. It's when people pick up on things and they want to be, they're the ones that want to get credit for the hashtag. They want to be known as the person who, you know, and it's pure. It gets ridiculous to the point where everyone wants a piece of it. So it's basically going, look at me. I'll pick up on the tiniest thing. That's how perfect I am. That's how brilliant and woke I am. That I don't, and they start eating their own because it's a form of sort of dogmatic purity where if they can't own the other side, they purify their own side to make them better. So, it's ludicrous. Ignore it. Just ignore it. They can't do it. Just ignore it. Someone says, oh, you can't say that. Go, yeah, all right, yes, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, bye.
Well, okay, let's delve into that on the ideational front. I mean, I would say, who would want to do that? Well, my sense is that it's this metastasization of Marxism. It's the spirit that metastasized Marxism that's bringing this about, and consciously. And so you have the people that hold the center, the majority of people who approximate some implicit ideal, however poorly. And then you have people who are perhaps unable to do that, or who are unwilling to do it, or who are even opposed to it. And they occupy the margin, and there's many of them. They're a plethora. And the postmodernists, especially the modern queer theorists, let's say, want to bring that margin into the center by whatever means necessary. Now, I think there's a profound philosophical misunderstanding that accompanies that desire. Although if the underlying desire at the base is just the desire for chaos, which is certainly possible, then it's not a mistake. It's not a bug. It's a feature. But, you know, we tend to believe in the West that an idea has its opposite, and that progress might be obtained by watching the war of a thesis and its antithesis.
the interview. See what we've got here. That was the first bit I ever wrote for The Office. It was a sketch, because it started off as a little character I had. It was a bit sort of creepier and more intense, and I thought it'd be too much when it came to it. The important thing I wanted to be was just laughing at him being just desperate for attention. Brent is he's a Frankenstein of people I sort of knew growing up. David Brent is refreshingly laid back for a man with such responsibility.
Yeah, can you just answer in your own words and I'll work it up
Yeah.
later.
And that's why he's sort of real, and I think that's why people identify with him, because people say, "Oh, I've had a boss like that," or "I'm like that," because he is sort of an everyman, and every guy wants to sort of be loved, and
Absolutely.
wants to have fun at work. And Gareth is based on a guy I went to school with when I was 14. That's why he acts like an adolescent.
What are you doing?
What?
Gareth, what are you doing?
I'm just pushing the stuff off my desk. I can't concentrate.
What's on your desk?
It was. It's all overlapping. It's all coming over the edge here.
Particularly something like The Office, realism was the single most important thing about it. So it resonated. I worked in an office for 10 years, and so it was good to get the detail right. But it still comes down to character. It comes down to people recognising things in people. And I think most people identified with Tim because he was a normal guy looking at this chaos and looking down the lens. Like to people, save me. And then all the madness. If it's based in reality, you can get away with some madness. Because they can sometimes get a little bit... Well, I don't know. Maybe special occasions, the odd one, but it's got an afterlife. So I don't want to do too much. Also because I deal in realism and I play my age and I reflect that, I think it would be too sad to see David Brent patting around at 60. Do you know what I mean? It would just be too tragic. I think we won't be able to laugh anymore. We'd just feel... I mean, it's already uncomfortable. It's incredible. Someone does this office quiz, and Ewan went to it, and he said the questions were so hard, and people were getting them right. What's the time on according to Accurist? And they knew it. No, I've got a sense of humour, but that was offensive towards women, and to be honest, I can't tolerate it. I'm going to have to pass on.
And sponsored by Accurist will be 4, 21 and 40 seconds.
Pathetic.
Is it? I mean, I'm very flattered that people watch it that many times.
How do you think we all got here?
We all got on planet Earth?
Yeah. How do you think it all started?
I think it all started with very small bacteria and the laws of evolution applied.
And what was there before the bacteria?
Well, a primeval soup, according to science.
What's that?
This. Who knows?
Why is there something rather than nothing? Right, okay, well I'm going to answer this in good faith. Well, first of all, why not? People think that it's mad that there's stuff, but why? Why isn't it mad that there was nothing? Imagine a universe of nothing. That would be odd as well, wouldn't it? You mean, and also the question why should be how. We don't mean why because there's no will. There's no will to the universe. The universe didn't crunch into the the size of an atom, I go, let's explode and make shit. There was no will, it just happened through gravity and all the different forces and laws that existed. I think people mean, how the fuck? How? That's what they mean.
So my question for all people like Richard Dawkins, I've interviewed everyone on this subject, you can imagine, is, well, what was there before nothing? And because the human brain can't comprehend that and can't answer that question, I'm a religious person. I believe in God. I was raised a Catholic. And the reason that I have stayed that way is because, to me, it makes perfect sense. It's logical that there must be a supernatural entity out there which is more sophisticated than the human brain, because we cannot answer that simple question. What was there before nothing?
We certainly can't.
Right.
What was there before the Big Bang? Nobody
So
can,
because they can't answer
it is
that
a strong
question.
argument for a creator of some sort. Whether that entity is supernatural or whether supernatural is simply natural that we haven't yet understood is another.
Are you
another
religious
question.
or not?
I was brought up as a Christian. I abandoned Christianity in my early 20s. I have been through a series of changes. I feel that life does have purpose, that it does have meaning. I don't think we're here by accident. I don't believe that death is the end. I think we are incarnated in physical bodies, but I think consciousness and the body are separate issues. I think life goes on. So in that sense, I am a spiritual person rather than necessarily a religious person. I don't follow a particular religious doctrine.
But you do think there's something else at the end?
I do, particularly the notion that the death is not the end, that it's perhaps the beginning of the next great adventure.
Right. And well, lots of reasons there. Well, nothing isn't really nothing. In fact, when people say, why is there something? Why isn't there a balance? Well, actually there is, because in general, the universe is an average of nothing. It's actually an average of nothing. Scientists will work this out, right? Because there's matter and antimatter. I mean, this might as well be magic, really, mightn't it, what I'm saying? But the answer is there just is. That you need lots more questions, really. But the answer is because there is. Why? I don't know why. I mean, it does seem weird that there's stuff, but I think it was just as weird. We wouldn't be here, obviously. So you can't imagine there being nothing. But there was once. Or was there?
The Earth supposedly was formed about 4.5 billion years ago, 4,500 million years ago. It supposedly was not cool enough to support life until about 4 billion years ago. But then by 3.9 billion years ago, the planet is seething with bacterial life. And the mainstream argument is that bacterial life just evolved by accidental bumping together of molecules.
Do you believe that?
I don't. I go with Francis Crick on that. Surprisingly, because as you know, Francis Crick won the Nobel Prize for the double helix structure.
I'm very aware of his work.
And he did not, in a less-known book by Francis Crick called Life Itself that was published in 1981, he looked into the plausibility of what he called directed panspermia. He felt that it was impossible for life to have evolved accidentally on Earth, for the DNA-RNA system to have just appeared by accident. He thinks it was sent to planet Earth. He speculated, this is not me, this is Francis Crick. He speculated that there must have been some gigantic civilization in some far-off part of the universe.
And a bit of it came to it.
No, they discovered that they were going... This is Crick. They discovered that they were going to be wiped out in a supernova explosion. That's the suggestion. They looked for ways to get themselves off the planet. Distances are too great. They settled on cryogenic freezing of bacteria. They encoded DNA into those bacteria and they fired them off into the universe in all directions. And one of those spaceships landed on the early Earth 3.9 billion years ago. And I must repeat, this is not Graham Hancock. This is Francis Crick, won the Nobel Prize.
Yes.
And this is his book, Life Itself, published in 1981. Directed panspermia.
I mean, look, I used to love Star Trek when I was a kid.
He made the point that the universe is more than 13 billion years old.
Yeah.
And there's time for life to have evolved.
No, I get all
more
that.
than once.
Even if I understood quantum physics, it wouldn't help anyone. I couldn't explain it. It just because it sounds like magic. It's mad. In fact, a lot of it is counterintuitive on contingent truths that we sort of hold dearly, but it is what it is. I think that's what you got to say. It is what it is. Say to me. That's life. Oh God. Amazing band. Gold in the Air of Summer. I chose that one because we finally had a nice day in England. I don't know where you are in the world, but we've had a terrible year. I don't want to be that bloke that complains, but it's been shit. And people say, oh, it's good for the farmers. They need a bit of sunshine too, though, don't they? It's not, they don't just want 6 months of rain. What are they farming? Mould. I'm a mould farmer. I'm a farmer, apparently, sort of officially, because I own an orchard and a distillery, because a Dutch barn in a war. I could say I can't fight. I've got to go and turn apples into ethanol. I don't know what would ever want me now. Maybe 40 years ago. I don't even know if this is working because it doesn't come up anymore. It just tells me how many people are watching, but it hasn't got all the little things before, because I think you have to be don't you have to join just to ask a question or something? I don't know. Something stupid. I don't understand it anymore. I mean, I could check. Why don't I check that I'm actually broadcasting? I'll go on my laptop and see if I'm actually broadcasting. I'll be all out of time, won't I? Hold on. Yeah, it's going out. It's happening. Good. Do you remember I did it once for half an hour and it wasn't broadcasting? Fucking annoying. I mean, it's already a waste of time. So to waste that time, I mean, it's a double fucking waste. Amazing band. Gold in the Air of Summer. I chose that one because we finally had a nice day in England. I don't know where you are in the world, but we've had a terrible year. I don't want to be that bloke that complains, but it's been shit. And people say, oh, it's good for the farmers. They need a bit of sunshine too, though, don't they? It's not, they don't just want 6 months of rain. What are they farming? Mould. I'm a mould farmer. I'm a farmer, apparently, sort of officially, because I own an orchard and a distillery, because a Dutch barn in a war. I could say I can't fight. I've got to go and turn apples into ethanol. I don't know what would ever want me now. Maybe 40 years ago. I don't even know if this is working because it doesn't come up anymore. It just tells me how many people are watching, but it hasn't got all the little things before, because I think you have to be don't you have to join just to ask a question or something? I don't know. Something stupid. I don't understand it anymore. I mean, I could check. Why don't I check that I'm actually broadcasting? I'll go on my laptop and see if I'm actually broadcasting. I'll be all out of time, won't I? Hold on. Yeah, it's going out. It's happening. Good. Do you remember I did it once for half an hour and it wasn't broadcasting? Fucking annoying. I mean, it's already a waste of time. So to waste that time, I mean, it's a double fucking waste of time. Amazing band. Gold in the Air of Summer. I chose that one because we finally had a nice day in England. I don't know where you are in the world, but we've had a terrible year. I don't want to be that bloke that complains, but it's been shit. And people say, oh, it's good for the farmers. They need a bit of sunshine too, though, don't they? It's they don't just want 6 months of rain. What are they farming? Mould. I'm a mould farmer. I'm a farmer, apparently, sort of officially, because I own an orchard and a distillery, because a Dutch barn in a war. I could say I can't fight. I've got to go and turn apples into ethanol. I don't know what would ever want me now. Maybe 40 years ago. I don't even know if this is working because it doesn't come up anymore. It just tells me how many people are watching, but it hasn't got all the little things before, because I think you have to be don't you have to join just to ask a question or something? I don't know. Something stupid. I don't understand it anymore. I mean, I could check. Why don't I check that I'm actually broadcasting? I'll go on my laptop and see if I'm actually broadcasting. I'll be all out of time, won't I? Hold on. Yeah, it's going out. It's happening. Good. Do you remember I did it once for half an hour and it wasn't broadcasting? Fucking annoying. I mean, it's already a waste of time. So to waste that time, I mean, it's a double fucking waste of time. My red face. I caught the sun a bit, didn't I? Played tennis. Yeah. Amazing band. Gold in the Air of Summer. I chose that one because we finally had a nice day in England. I don't know where you are in the world, but we've had a terrible year. I don't want to be that bloke that complains, but it's been shit. And people say, oh, it's good for the farmers. They need a bit of sunshine too, though, don't they? They don't just want 6 months of rain. What are they farming? Mould. I'm a mould farmer. I'm a farmer, apparently, sort of officially, because I own an orchard and a distillery, because a Dutch barn in a war. I could say I can't fight. I've got to go and turn apples into ethanol. I don't know what would ever want me now. Maybe 40 years ago. I don't even know if this is working because it doesn't come up anymore. It just tells me how many people are watching, but it hasn't got all the little things before, because I think you have to be don't you have to join just to ask a question or something? I don't know. Something stupid. I don't understand it anymore. I mean, I could check. Why don't I check that I'm actually broadcasting? I'll go on my laptop and see if I'm actually broadcasting. I'll be all out of time, won't I? Hold on. Yeah, it's going out. It's happening. Good. Do you remember I did it once for half an hour and it wasn't broadcasting? Fucking annoying. I mean, it's already a waste of time. Amazing band. Gold in the Air of Summer. I chose that one because we finally had a nice day in England. I don't know where you are in the world, but we've had a terrible year. I don't want to be that bloke that complains, but it's been shit. And people say, oh, It's good for the farmers. They need a bit of sunshine too, though, don't they? It's like they don't just want 6 months of rain. What are they farming? Mould. I'm a mould farmer. I'm a farmer, apparently, sort of officially, because I own an orchard and a distillery, because a Dutch barn in a war. I could say I can't fight. I've got to go and turn apples into ethanol. I don't know what would ever want me now. Maybe 40 years ago. I don't even know if this is working, because it doesn't come up anymore. It just tells me how many people are watching, but it hasn't got all the little things before, because I think you have to be don't you have to join just to ask a question or something? I don't know. Something stupid. I don't understand it anymore. I mean, I could check. Why don't I check that I'm actually broadcasting? I'll go on my laptop and see if I'm actually broadcasting. I'll be all out of time, won't I? Hold on. Yeah, it's going out. It's happening. Good. Do you remember I did it once for half an hour and it wasn't broadcasting? Fucking annoying. I mean, it's already a waste of time. So to waste that time, I mean, it's a double fucking waste of time. My red face. I caught the sun a bit, didn't I? Played tennis. Yeah, I've been eating peanuts. That's why I'm doing that. I'm not prepared for TV, am I? That woman got in trouble for doing that. I'll just be on there reading the news like that. Yeah. More inflation. Earthquake. Right, let's get through the questions. I put it over that side for a change. Sam B. If you could only listen to one artist or band for the rest of your life, who would it be? Oh, that's too hard, because it wouldn't matter who it was. Was it like the first one that sprang to mind, David Bowie? But if I could only listen to David Bowie, it would still send me mental. You'd need someone with a massive catalogue who maybe changed, lots of different. So I mean, he's like prime contender, I'd have thought. One that's never let me. There's a few that Bob Dylan, Neil Young. I mean, all the things I listen to anyway. And I've never stopped listening to those. Cat Stevens. So yeah, I suppose I could. Radiohead maybe. Tricky. Oh God. I'd just be thinking, I'd go, oh, I wish I'd. Whoever it was, you'd go, oh. That's too difficult. I'll go David Bowie. But whoever it is, that is the beauty, isn't it, of variety and choice. That makes me laugh when people used to complain about there's too many channels on TV. You don't have to watch them. Oh no, there's 200 channels. Yeah, just watch the one you like. Or don't fucking watch. Isn't telly shit? Isn't ordinary telly shite now? God, blimey. I think the only thing I watch on terrestrial telly, The Chase, where one of those with titty. I think that's it. I watched The Apprentice when it was on. I just watched Netflix every night, or some sort of streaming, or there's no reason to just sit in front of a telly and have no choice anymore. I think everyone agrees with me. Julia Campbell, have you watched Kin? Talking to Telly. I think it's fantastic, especially the second series. I haven't, but it's on the list. It might even be next. We're just finishing something off. Do you have any new programme recommendations? Well, this year, I think maybe, I don't know why, it might have been a mixture of COVID, the writer's strike. There seemed to be less new stuff. So I watched Borgen from the beginning, all like 5 series and the 10 years later. And we watched The Bureau from the beginning. And that gave us a couple of months. Last really good new thing I watched is a thing called Deliver Me, a Swedish sort of crime drama, but more. Really good. Always watching the original. I don't think I've watched an English-speaking series for years now. Always watching the original language. Never watched dubbed. They're unwatchable dubbed. So watch Deliver Me. I think it's Netflix. Watched a good documentary the other night. Football Fraudster. About this guy who pretends to be like, superstar sportsman. Cons people. Always good. Like the sort of Tinder swindler type thing. They're always good. And this one's there's this psychiatrist that sort of analyses it and tells you what he's like and how he gets away with it. Really good. So Kin is on the list. I have heard good things about that. Taco King. What's your favourite line you've ever written? Oh, that's impossible as well. I've written a lot of lines. The first one I thought of then, and this is from the early days where people say, what's your favourite line from The Office, was probably, I think there's been a up there. But I've written a lot since. And it's all about context as well. That's a funny line because of what's happening. Brent wanting to be the centre of attention. He's trying to win by just... It's all context. That any line by itself is nothing. It depends what's happening. Unless it's a one-liner. So maybe something from a stand-up or... But I like there's lots of lines I like. Like from Afterlife. I'd rather be nowhere with her than somewhere without her. There's lines that I'm sort of proud of, but it's all contextual. Some stand-up lines maybe. Lines from the Golden Globe, because they're so standalone. They've got to be like just perfect one-off. What that were? I like the one from the last one when I said to them all, if you started a streaming service, you'd call your agent. When I said they spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So they're sort of like, I suppose they're good standalone lines. I think one of the first lines I ever wrote for the Golden Globes when I was doing it was, I like a drink as much as the next man, unless the next man is Mel Gibson. That's hard, that one. Keena, do you ever plan on writing a book? I assume you mean a novel. I've written children's books and, script books and Brent's song book, but they don't count. They're too easy. But have I ever considered writing 100,000 word novel? God, blimey, it's too hard. I mean, the answer is yes, but then I go, it's too hard. Oh. I did think about it. I remember when I was sort of 18, 19, 20, and I was thinking of doing things. You know what I mean? You want to be a pop star and an astronaut and a novelist and all those things that you think of, an artist, all those things you dabble in. You go, nah, I'm not right, or it's too hard, or you find something you like more. So early days, I might have. I remember when I was on the dole, and I must have thought about writing a novel, because I used to go to the library every day. I used to go to museums and libraries and, you know, spend my time thinking I've got to do something, either get fit or learn something. And I used to go to the library every day. And I remember looking at how to write a novel, one of those books, how to write a novel. And it just ended up annoying me. And it made me decide, if I ever did write a novel, what my first line would be, because this book annoyed me. It was quite a stuffy old book. I think it was one of those books that was written in the 50s or 60s. I don't know. But I remember I skim read it in the note, and it said never start a novel describing the weather, right? And it said never start a novel with swearing. And that made me decide that if I ever did write a novel, the first sentence was going to be, it was raining like a... Just because that book annoyed me. Oh, God. So, yeah. I do this thing with Jane, right? We're walking down the street, right? And there's just a really sweet old lady or man, like really sort of, you know, classic, like 95, bent double, can hardly walk. I go to Jane, what's this playing at? Like that, right? To annoy her or make her laugh, right? And, and now I've got it that I can say it at the last minute, so it panics Jane. They never hear it, right? But I can even do it without looking, so just Jane can hear and it panics her. This person does. I can do it without moving my lips now. I can go, what's this cunt doing? What's this cunt doing? It's a skill, isn't it? Oh, God. There's something wrong with me. What's this one? Andy Hughes. If you weren't rich and famous, what job do you think you'd be doing? What was I what was I doing? I was sort of in entertainment, so I couldn't be still doing, I couldn't be an entertainment manager at my age. That would be a bit much, wouldn't it? Organising fucking drill discos. Fucking hell. Well, the last real job I had, I suppose, was at the radio station, which is on the cusp, isn't it, of real job and popping up on air. So I'd probably be doing a normal job, but I might be popping up on local radio, or I don't know, or doing the odd stand-up gig. Because before I was doing this sort of professionally, when I had a real job, I was thinking of doing the odd bit of stand-up as an outlet. So, I don't know. And would I have been doing business things and being an entrepreneur? And I don't know. I'd still be doing something that was like quite fun and interesting. I hope. I don't know. Or go the other way and well, I mean, those are things that I could be a landscape gardener. I like gardening, and that's so difficult. I mean, I don't think I'd have retrained or anything like that, or gone back into science or... I'd probably have a podcast, wouldn't I? Because everyone with normal jobs now would do... So I'd have a normal job, and hopefully I'd be doing a podcast and being me, but people would be going, who the fuck is he? That's all. I just wouldn't be rich and famous, but I'd still be me, wouldn't I? Wouldn't I? Be a bit weird, wouldn't it? If I was me, but not rich and famous, and I still said all the stupid fucking things, they'd just think I was mental. Because at the moment they can go, oh, he's a comedian. Oh, he's rich and famous, he can get away with that. Like, that is just a bloke going around saying these fucking stupid things. People go, keep away from him, he's mental. He's actually mental. Ash, what would you like to be in the next life? A frog, a chimp, or an elephant? And why? Well, I wouldn't want to be a frog because I wouldn't know I was a frog, would I? I might as well be a rock. Frogs don't sit around thinking, oh, I'll have a nice worm today. They don't think, do they? They've got no... I mean, that's like not existing, isn't it, really? For me to choose, I mean, it's fine if you're a frog, being a frog, but it would be I think, I love animals, but I think that would be a little bit of a calm down. It's like I can't imagine not thinking, so elephant or chimp. I mean, the chimp is the one to choose, isn't it? Because it's the closest thing to humanity. Because I imagine elephants and chimps sort of introspect a bit. They're aware of, they're intelligent, aren't they? And they have emotions, and